Hello and welcome to From Digital to D&D. In this series, a character from fiction is taken and given a usable stat block for you to use in your games of Dungeons & Dragons. For those of you unaware, each episode of this series will be broken down into the following sections. The character introduction, where I attempt to explain the background of the character. The feature breakdown, where I point out what aspects of the character I'll be attempting to convert. The stat block, where the stat block is shown off and certain elements are discussed. And finally, the plot hooks, where I explain possible uses for the character in your games of D&D. Naturally, any character that features in this series belongs to their respective owners. The prime example of the video game Stalker monster enters the ring, ready to pursue and destroy its target. Pray you are not the target of the ultimate tyrant, bane of Jill Valentine, the Nemesis.
Stars.
Nemesis T-Type, or just Nemesis for short, is a biological organic weapon. This BOW was initially created by the Umbrella Corporation by experimenting on the T-103 Tyrant model. The Tyrants are humanoid bioweapons mass-produced to serve as competent bioweapons. Tyrants stand at around 7 feet tall and are built like muscular men, possessing near-human levels of intelligence and boasting incredible might. The Nemesis project sought to improve upon the T-103 line by introducing the Nemesis Alpha parasite. Tyrants come after extensive exposure and modification to the Tyrant virus, also known as the T-virus. This virus, by default, increases muscular strength but has terrible side effects including brain damage, organ failure, physical mutation, and an intense hunger for all kinds of flesh. Tyrants are more refined and can be controlled through inhibitors, but if they take too much damage, mutations can occur. The NE Alpha parasite was introduced with the express intent of serving as a secondary brain, increasing the intelligence of the Tyrant to human levels of problem solving. Several Nemesis T-Types were produced, but only one would ever see deployment during the Raccoon City incident. This Nemesis, also called the Pursuer, but I'll just be calling it Nemesis, was sent as a test of its combat abilities and as additional cleanup. Nemesis was tasked with hunting down and killing all members of STARS, a special police task force, and a Thorn in Umbrella's side. By the time Nemesis was deployed, only 2 members of STARS remained, being helicopter pilot Brad Vickers and Master of Unlocking Jill Valentine. Nemesis successfully dispatched Brad, but Jill proved elusive for the Tyrant, always managing to best the Tyrant. Nemesis tracked Jill across Raccoon City, forcing her to either fight for her life or flee as far as she could. Nemesis endured countless injuries, but it did not stop, always coming back and resuming the chase. Jill quickly learned that this monster was no dumb brute, as it brandished weaponry, including a flamethrower and rocket launcher. After a tense confrontation, Nemesis managed to pierce Jill with its tentacle, infecting her with the strain of the T-virus, though it is forced to withdraw. The vast amount of injuries Nemesis sustained may not have killed it, but the limiters placed to prevent it from mutating were damaged, the Tyrant's form growing more unstable. The exact accounts of each encounter Jill had with Nemesis can vary, but after she recovered from her infection, she eventually faced Nemesis one final time. Both parties were exhausted, and Nemesis had mutated to a point it no longer resembled the Tyrant it once was. Using an experimental railgun, Jill killed Nemesis. Or so she thought. Though nothing more than a mewling mess of gore, Nemesis kept going. Though Jill would put it down one last time, it is possible Nemesis survived and was only stopped by the nuclear missile that vaporized Raccoon City. Though it may have ultimately been unsuccessful, Nemesis was incredibly effective, and if not for having an impossible to kill target, would have succeeded. As I mentioned previously, Nemesis is a type of Tyrant, specifically a variant of the T-103 model. It has strength far beyond a normal human, able to charge through walls and throw vehicles. It can withstand gunfire and explosions with little issue, and the coat it wears is bulletproof for additional protection. This coat also prevents Nemesis from mutating. Thanks to its increased muscle density, it can sprint faster than a normal person. Any harm to it is also healed quickly, gunshot wounds healing after a few seconds. And all of that is from its shared attributes with the T-103. Thanks to the parasite, Nemesis is almost as smart as a human, capable of analysing a situation and determining the best course of action. Unlike other BOWs, Nemesis has a greater sense of self-preservation, and will retreat if it knows it is the best course of action. It can use weaponry and tools, though it needs to be made specifically for Nemesis. Speech is possible, but Nemesis has never shown anything beyond saying the name of its target. Thanks to the countless parasites within its body, Nemesis can produce tentacles which it can use to smash targets, latch onto buildings, reel in creatures, and inject them with a strain of the T-virus. As I mentioned before, Nemesis can heal with ease, but this healing is far stronger than a normal tyrant. The only known thing to properly kill Nemesis was a nuclear bomb, which vaporized its body. It's possible the extensive damage from the railgun and final rounds of gunfire did the job, but it's also possible Nemesis would have come back. When its mutation limiters were damaged, Nemesis took on more monstrous forms and resorted to using the natural weaponry of each form, such as claws and tentacles. No matter what you throw at it, Nemesis will keep on coming. I've been looking forward to this one, as Nemesis is one of my favourite antagonists in gaming. I hope I've done him justice. You're welcome to look through the stat sheet at your own pace to see if you agree, but there's a lot I want to highlight. Starting with his mythic trait. It's been a while, but this one lets Nemesis mutate into a quadrupedal form as seen in the remake. It was hard to pick which form, but from a D&D gameplay standpoint I think this one works best. As for its regular abilities, Nemesis is durable and killing it isn't easy. Unless you completely destroy its body with something like Disintegrate, it will get back up eventually. And once it's up, it will resume the hunt for the poor soul Nemesis has been designated to kill. Once it finds its target, it can bring the pain with a series of strikes and can use its tentacle to inflict effects. Nemesis can wrap a target up and pull them in, or it can infect them with the T-virus. It can keep the pain up with its legendary actions, its most deadly being Crush. If it wishes to use it, Nemesis has to use this action at the earliest possible turn, but if it succeeds, Nemesis can crush the target's skull and kill them instantly. Before I explain the T-virus, there are some variant weapon options for Nemesis. Nemesis can only take one weapon at a time, and carrying one of these weapons disables its special tentacle actions. Nemesis can equip a flamethrower, Gatling gun, or rocket launcher. Each one offers Nemesis a new way of attack. But now for the T-virus. This disease can be brutal as it stops the infected creature from healing and slowly kills them. There is a chance the creature can recover, but it isn't easy. The virus is more likely to kill you before you can naturally recover. If you do die whilst infected, you'll rise again, with a good chance of becoming a zombie, though there is a chance a mutation can occur and the infected turns to a different type of undead. An option exists to have the virus perform its intended purpose of enhancing a person. The actual odds are 1 in 10 million, but to make it simpler you can roll 3d20s, and if you get a natural 20 every time you gain several bonuses. And I know 3 nat 20s in a row isn't 1 in 10 million, but it needs to be somewhat possible. Your stats are increased, you gain resistance to poison and disease, and you heal wounds at a faster rate. With all these tools, Nemesis is a persistent threat, one the party best hope isn't aimed at them. Now, how do we use Nemesis? I don't know. What do you think?
Stars.
Really? Alright. One use of Nemesis is to have it serve the exact purpose it was made for, to hunt down and eliminate its target. Now, a creature like Nemesis won't just come around on its own, someone needs to make it. And I think we all know 1 or 2 necromancers that can serve the purpose of making a juggernaut of an undead. If I was a big bad necromancer who wanted to make the ultimate weapon and kill my foes at the exact same time, I'd probably build something like Nemesis. The party will have to do something to anger the necromancer though, for them to earn a true Nemesis. And being killed by the party is a good start. So let's say the party were tasked with killing a necromancer and succeeded. But they didn't double tap, as the necromancer came back and in their anger decided to unleash their greatest creation. Tasked with hunting the party down, the Nemesis will be relentless and a constant thorn in the party's side. Nemesis is not stupid, it will wait for the perfect time to strike. If it sees the party are at a dead end or engaged with another threat, it pounces. The party cannot reason with Nemesis, all they can do is either run or fight. If we look at how Nemesis is treated in the original game, a special event will happen to make it clear Nemesis has arrived. Unless it is killed, Nemesis will keep popping up in the area. Perhaps the party must withdraw to a more defensible position and make their stand against Nemesis. If they manage to beat Nemesis, it won't be for long, and unless they reach somewhere Nemesis can't immediately follow, the hunt will be back on. Like a blue dragon, Nemesis knows a series of battles will be more draining than one big one. Exhausting the party of resources is a long but reliable way Nemesis may choose. This doesn't mean it has to run in, punch someone and then run off again. Most D&D parties endure a lot in one day but not an adventure, and after a long battle, Nemesis may strike to cause an additional resource drain. If it can go in for the kill, it will, though Nemesis doesn't have to just be sent out with the intent to kill someone. I mean, it's what it was made for, but the T-103 series were assigned as bodyguards, retrieval units and more. Mr. X in RE2 has two jobs: kill any survivors it found and collect a sample of the G-virus to bring back. As Nemesis is a more advanced model, it can be tasked with so much more complex jobs. Perhaps the Necromancer needs a specific organ from a long dead hero, and Nemesis is capable of finding ways to reach this goal. Brute force may be the most used method, but if Nemesis has to adapt, it will. And of course, the former Nemesis will adapt as well, or mutate I should say. After countless encounters with the party, Nemesis may show signs of wear and tear, but no signs of stopping. I would avoid having Nemesis appear constantly, as that could be too much. Let the party go on for stretches of time where Nemesis is nowhere to be seen, only to have it suddenly appear. If the party never know when Nemesis will show up, the fear factor will double. As the name suggests, you can't have a better Nemesis. But with that, we've reached the end of today's video. Before you head off, I would like to thank you for watching, and I hope you managed to get something out of this. The stat block for Nemesis is available on D&D Beyond for free, and the link to it is in the description. I hope you all have a great day, and may your dice roll favourably. Goodbye for now.